Most people will never unlock their full potential. Do you know why? Because they're comfortable. They wake up, they eat, they scroll, they waste time, and then they complain about their lives. Every day they repeat the same cycle like robots programmed to fail. And then they ask why nothing changes. The world doesn't care about your excuse. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to knock on your door and hand you discipline, wealth, health, or respect. The truth is simple. If you don't demand more from yourself, you'll stay exactly where you are: weak, broke, invisible. Potential means nothing if you never use it. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how talented you think you are. I've seen men with genius-level IQs wasting their days, playing video games, drowning in distractions, numbing their lives with cheap entertainment, and I've seen average men who weren't gifted with special. Success is not about talent. It's about obsession, discipline, and relentless action. You have potential, but right now it's asleep, and unless you wake it up, it will rot inside you until the day you die. The first step to unlocking your full potential is brutal honesty. Stop lying to your locks. Stop telling yourself you're doing okay when you know deep down you're not. Stop acting like tomorrow will be different when you already know tomorrow will look exactly like today. Comfort is your cage, and you built it with your own hands. You chose the easy path one too many times, and now you're trapped in mediocrity. But listen carefully, cages can be broken. All it takes is one decision. The decision to stop living small. Do you want to know the scariest part? Mediocrity feels safe. That's why so many people stay there. It doesn't demand much of you. It doesn't make you sweat. It lets you hide. But mediocrity will kill you slowly, piece by piece. Every time you avoid the gym, every time you hit snooze, every time you tell yourself, tomorrow, you are committing suicide in small doses. You are murdering your own potential. And when you're old, when you look back, nobody respects a man who wastes his potential. Not his family, not his friends, not even himself. Respect is earned through action, through proof. If you can't respect yourself, how do you expect the world to respect you? Every man alive has an obligation to inspect or. And if you refuse, don't cry when life hands you nothing. Don't cry when you're broke, when you're weak, when nobody listens to you. You chose that life. You chose weakness. You need to understand something right now. Life is war. Every day you are either winning. Every decision is a battle. What you eat, how you train, how you spend your time. These are the weapons and the strategies of that war. And most of you are surrendering without even putting up a fight. You surrender to laziness. You surrender to distraction. You surrender to laziness. You feel empty because you are meant for more. You feel restless because you're not living at your highest level. Potential is not unlocked by waiting. It's unlocked by wishing. It's unlocked by fighting. You have to be willing to go through fire. You have to be willing to suffer more than the man next to you. You have to be willing to bleed for the life you want. That's what separates the successful from the forgotten. The successful didn't get there because they were lucky. They got there because they endured what others refused to endure. They pushed when others quit. Do you want to live a powerful life? Then stop being weak. Stop letting feelings dictate your future. Stop treating your potential like it's optional. It's not optional. It's mandatory. You were not born to be average. You were not born to just exist. You were born to dominate, to conquer, to leave a mark so deep that even when you're gone, people still feel your presence. But that won't happen if you keep living like everyone else. That won't happen if you keep choosing comfort. You need to decide right now. Are you willing to suffer for your potential, or are you going to die with it locked inside you? Because that's the choice. There's no in between. Either you rise or you stay invisible. Either you fight or you surrender. Either you build a legacy or you fade into nothingness. Don't tell me you don't know where to start. Start anywhere. Start with one push-up. Start with 1 hour of work. Start with reading one book instead of scrolling. The smallest actions compound into massive change, but only if you're consistent. Only if you refuse to quit. Do you know why so many people quit? You know why so many people quit? Because the results don't come fast enough. They plant the seed, but they don't water it long enough to see it grow. That's why they stay weak. You have to commit for life. Not for a week, not for a month. For life, unlocking your potential is not a part-time job. It's not something you do when it's convenient. It's who you become, and let me tell you something else. The world owes you nothing. Stop expecting sympathy. Stop expecting opportunities to just appear. The world is brutal, and it rewards only the strong. That's the truth. If you're not strong, you will be ignored. If you're not assessed, you'll be forgotten. That's how the game works. You either play to win or you sit on the sidelines while the winners take everything. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep existing weak, bored, invisible, or are you going to start living with power? Or are you going to keep scrolling, keep wasting, keep hiding? Or are you going to unlock the potential that's been screaming inside you since the day you were born? Right now, decide. Decide that you will no longer live like the average man. Decide that you will no longer betray yourself with excuses. Decide that your potential will not die inside you, because if you don't make that decision, life will make it for you. And trust me, you won't like the outcome. Moping potential isn't about motivation. Motivation is cheap. It comes and goes like the weather. The next day you wake up tired and suddenly that fire is gone. If you depend on motivation, you'll live a life of inconsistency. And inconsistency is the death of greatness. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. It doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, sad, or uninspired. Discipline demands action, no matter the circumstances. When I talk about discipline, I'm not talking about something glamour. It's not a movie scene where the music swells and suddenly you feel ard. Discipline is boring, repetitive, and often painful. But it's in that repetition that power is built. You don't go to the gym because you feel like it. You go because it's required. You don't work in your business only when you're excited. You work on it every single day. That's the difference between men who stay average and men who become exceptional. Think about the greatest achievements in history. None of them were built on feelings. The pyramids weren't built because thousands of men felt like it. Empires weren't forged because leaders waited until they were inspired. They were built on discipline. Legacies. Work does. Sweat does. Sacrifice does. The man who learns to silence his feelings and act with discipline becomes unstoppable. They wake up and ask themselves, do I feel like working out today? Do I feel like grinding? Do I feel like reading, studying, building? That very question is the problem. If you allow yourself to ask it, you've already lost. Because the answer will almost always be no. And once you obey that, no. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline says, it doesn't matter how I feel. This is what must be done. Understand this. Every time you choose discipline over feelings, you grow stronger. Every time you let feelings win, you shrink. This is why people live entire lives stuck in mediocrity, because they always wait to feel ready. You will never wake up every day with a fire burning inside you. Stop waiting for readiness. Start building discipline. That's how real men. Freedom from weakness, freedom from inconsistency, freedom from regret. The man who is disciplined controls his destiny. The man who is led by feelings is a slave to circumstance. He is blown around by moods, by comfort, by distractions. Think about how many opportunities people waste because they didn't feel like it. The job they could have applied for, the skill they could have learned, the physique they could have built, the empire they could have started, all lost because they let feelings win. Discipline doesn't let opportunities slip away. Discipline seizes them, even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient. When you see a man at the top, the billionaire, the champion athlete, the leader, you're not looking at motivation. You're looking at mornings where he got out of bed while the rest of the world slept, nights where he kept working while everyone else relaxed. You're looking at thousands of small daily victories where he chose discipline over comfort. That's why he stands where others can't. Pain is part of discipline, but pain is tainted. The weight you lift burns, but it makes you stronger. The hours of study exhaust you, but they make you smarter. The sacrifices sting, but they make you sharper. Feelings tell you to run from pain. Discipline tells you to embrace it, because you know what's waiting on the other side. Every time you conquer discomfort, you unlock another piece of your potential. Do you know what's worse than pain? Regret. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. The man who avoided the gym, who avoided the grind, who avoided the sacrifice, he was haunted by what he could have been. That's why regret is heavier than any discipline. Regret breaks a man. Discipline builds him when you live. With discipline, you start to see yourself differently. You respect yourself because you know you can trust yourself. When you say, I'll wake up at 6, you do it. When you say, I'll train. When you say, I'll work until the job is done, you finish. And that self-respect radiates into everything you do. People see it. They feel it. They know you're not like everyone else. That aura of respect is built. Brick. Discipline is the language of kings. Weak men want comfort, want entertainment, want an easy life. Disciplined men want results, want power, want greatness. The world bends for the disciplined and ignores the lazy. This is the law of reality. You just need to commit. Once you understand that life becomes simple, you wake up, you execute, no debates, no excuses, no feelings. Execution becomes automatic. That's when you become dangerous. Because while everyone else is waiting to feel inspired, you're already 10 steps all. How many times did your feelings tell you to rest when you needed to push? How many times did your feelings convince you to quit when you were close to victory? Feelings lie. They will betray you. If you stay consistent, discipline will reward you with strength, with wealth, with respect. Growing potential requires a new mindset. From this moment on, stop asking yourself how you feel. Ask yourself what is required. Does it matter if you're sad? No. The only question that matters is, what must be done today? That is the mindset of the disciplined man. That is the mindset of winners. Discipline is the master key. It opens every locked door. It opens the door to strength, to wealth, to freedom, to respect. Without it, you are trapped in mediocrity. With it, there is nothing you cannot achieve. You have the power to choose. You can keep following your feelings and live a life of regret, or you can build discipline and unlock the life you were destined to live. The choice is yours. But understand this. If you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll waste your and stop hesitating. Stop listening to your feelings. Start building discipline. That's how you rise. That's how you unlock your potential. That's how you win. People run from pain, but pain is the fastest teacher. Every failure, every heartbreak, every sleepless night, I've learned to embrace pain because I know it sharpens me. The gym hurts, but it builds strength. Business failures hurt, but they build strength. Betrayal hurts, but it builds awareness. Every scar on my body and every scar on my soul is proof that I kept moving forward. That's why I tell you. The easy path is crowded with mediocrity. The hard path is where your potential wakes up and screams, I am honorable. Pain is not your enemy. Comfort is. Most men spend their lives avoiding pain, like it's a plague. They hide from, struggle, dodge challenges, and build routines destroying to keep them comfortable. But comfort kills. It weakens the mind, it softens the body, and it destroys ambition. The man who avoids pain lives a half-life. Always safe, but never strong. If you want to rise above, you must understand that pain is not a curse. Pain is the shortcut to strength, to wisdom, to real power. Look at the strongest bodies in the world. They were not built through comfort. They were carved through endurance. Every set was pain, but every ounce of that pain was an investment. The same rule applies to business, relationships, and personal growth. Pain is the tax you pay for greatness. You can't cheat it. You can't skip it. The only way to succeed is through it. When you fail, it hurts. Failure is a mirror that shows you exactly what needs to change. If you're smart, you don't cry about it. You analyze it. You adapt. You sharpen your strategy. The man who avoids failure avoids growth. I failed more times than most people have tried, and that's why I win. Every mistake prepared me. The easy road never taught me anything. Pain taught me everything. Heartbreak is another form of pain. People run from, they think avoiding it will protect them. But heartbreak builds resilience. When you've been betrayed, when you've been left broken, you develop awareness that no book or lecture could ever give you. You learn who is real. You learn who is fake. You learn the value of loyalty, and you learn the power of standing alone. That's why I don't run from it. I take it, I use it, I let it fuel me. Sleepless nights are another teacher. People complain about stress, about staying awake, worrying, but those nights are when ideas are born. That's when you sit alone with your thoughts and face the reality of who you are. Pain keeps you awake so you can see clearly. Comfort lets you sleep in ignorance. Pain forces you to wake up to truth. Scars are proof of life. They're proof of battles fought. They're proof of lessons learned. A scar means you survived. A scar means you endured what would have broken weaker men. And once you've survived enough pain, you stop fearing it. You stop seeing it as an enemy. You start recognizing it as a guide. Pain points you in the direction of growth. Wherever you feel resistance, wherever you feel discomfort, that's exactly where you should go. The easy path seduces you with safety, but it robs you of potential. It offers quick rewards, shallow pleasures, and the illusion of progress. But at the end of that road is mediocrity, stagnation, and regret. You must deliberately choose the harder road. The road filled with pain, because that's where your transformation lies. Think about the great men of history. None of them lived endless paths. Warriors endured endlessly. If you want to join their ranks, you cannot avoid it. You must welcome it. Pain is the initiation fee for greatness. Pay it and you rise. Refuse it and you remain. Ordinary Denkan comfort is not a punishment. It is a signal. It tells you where to grow. That sting of rejection tells you to improve your approach. That exhaustion from long hours tells you you're building resilience. Every type of pain carries within it a lesson. Most men throw away those lessons because they only focus on the hurt. The wise man sees beyond hurts. I run toward it when others run away. If there's a task that scares me, I do it first. If there's a challenge that intimidates me, I take it head on. If there's a sacrifice to be made, I make it without hesitation. That is how I sharpen myself. That is how I ensure that no matter what life throws at me, I am ready. Discipline and pain together forge armor that cannot be pierced. The truth is, most of you already know what you need to do. You know the gym will hurt, but it will build strength. Pseudo studying will strain your brain, but it will build intelligence. Working long hours will exhaust you, but it will build wealth. Yet you avoid it because you don't want to suffer, and that's why you're stuck. That's why you feel empty, because you've been avoiding the very thing that could make you whole. Comfort is the real enemy. Comfort whispers, lies in your ear, take it easy. Rest. You've done enough. Don't push so hard. Comfort wants you average. Comfort wants you to waste your potential. Pain doesn't lie. Pain tells the truth. Pain says this is what growth feels like. Pain says this is the price. Pain says endure this and you will rise. Start seeing it for what it really is. A shortcut. Every minute of pain you endure cuts years off your learning curve. Every failure accelerates your success if you're willing to study it. Every heartbreak matures you if you're willing to reflect on it. Every scar hardens you if you refuse to hide it. Domain is the fast lane to becoming the man you're meant to be. The easy path is full of men who chose comfort and ended up forgotten. The hard path is full of scars, sweat, and suffering. But it's also where greatness is forged. Choose the hard path. Choose pain. Choose growth. Because when you embrace pain, you unlock the part of yourself that has been waiting all along to show you how powerful you really are. When you finally stop lying to yourself, when you embrace discipline, when you welcome pain, you become something rare. He doesn't seek approval. He doesn't wait for permission. He sees the world differently. He takes what he deserves because he understands that potential is worthless. They live their entire lives as shadows, never realizing that the strongest, most capable version of who they are was within reach the whole time. It's not outside of you. It's not waiting in another place. The rise of the new you begins the moment you strip away the lies. Lies are the chains that keep you weak. Lies like, I'll start tomorrow. Lies like, life is unfair. Truth is brutal. You've been wasting time, and time doesn't forgive. The day you stop lying is the day you finally see the world with clear eyes. Clarity is power. When you realize that nobody is coming to save you, something changes inside. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You begin to understand that the responsibility has always been yours. Not me, not your parents, not society. Potential is not a gift others can hand you. It's a fire that burns inside you, waiting for you to strike the match. You either wake it up or you die with it. Locked inside. That's the reality. No one escapes it. The new you doesn't fear. That truth, he uses it. He understands that life is limited. The time is running out. He understands that every day wasted is gone forever. And because of that, he treats every moment as precious. He uses each hour with intention. He doesn't indulge in meaning's distraction. He channels everything into building, into creating, into becoming more than he was yesterday. That urgency is what fuels his rise. You change when comfort no longer wails to you. The man you used to be want he shortcuts. He looks for the hard road because he knows that's where growth hides. He doesn't avoid discomfort. He seeks it out. He knows that pressure is what turns coal into diamonds. He wants the weight because he knows the weight makes him unbreakable. This transformation is not about becoming someone else. It's about revealing the version of yourself that has been hidden all along. Deep down, you've always known he was there. You felt the hunger, the restlessness, the frustration of living below your potential. That feeling wasn't weakness. It was the voice of the new you call out. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You stop keeping weak company. You stop giving energy to people who drain you. The new you is selective. He surrounds himself with strength. He demands excellence from himself and from everyone around him. He doesn't settle for less because he knows he doesn't have to. He doesn't chase acceptance because he knows he's already enough. His validation comes from his own progress, his own discipline, his own victories. Once you taste this transformation, you can never go back. You can never look at yourself the same way again. You will see the difference in the mirror, in your work, in your results. You'll realize how much of your old life was wasted on weakness, and you'll refuse to return to it. That's the beauty of the rise. It makes the old you unrecognizable, the new you doesn't. Just survive. He dominates. He doesn't just exist. He creates it with his own hands. And because of that, he is free. Free from fear, free from doubt, free from regret. That freedom is earned, not given. It's earned through discipline, through pain, through truth. It's earned by killing the weak version of yourself and stepping fully into your strength. The question that remains is simple: how much more time will you waste living as half of who you are? Every second that passes is a second closer to the end. There is no reset button. There is no second life. You rise now, or you never rise at all. The rise of the new you is the climax of everything you've been avoiding. It's the moment when you finally accept that greatness isn't optional. It's your duty. It's the moment when you stop living like the rest of the world and start living as the man you are destined to be. And once you rise, nothing can pull you back down.